Welcome back to another episode of Married with Munchies and Movies. We are your hosts.
I'm Gabe.
I'm Rebecca. And today we're going to show y'all how to make a potato gnocchi with the cheese sauce.
That's right. And we're also going to watch and review the movie The January Man from 1989.
Yeah, the movie was definitely different than some of the movies we've watched lately. But it was kind of a comedy, crime, a little bit of...
Yeah. Slightly odd movie, slightly odd recipe. Let's see what we thought about it. This is how we made it.
To make the cream puff paste, you're going to boil 1 cup of water, a 3/4 stick of butter, and add your seasonings. A teaspoon of salt, a dash of pepper, and a pinch of nutmeg.
You're going to wait for that to boil and then remove from heat and stir in 3/4 cup of flour and beat in 4 eggs. And then you're going to set it aside to mix into your gnocchi dough later.
Next, you're going to peel, quarter, and cook a pound of potatoes.
This is actually pretty fun. Peeling potatoes is fun.
I'd rather cut them.
After that, you're going to cook, drain, and mash the potatoes. And then slowly mix in your cream puff paste that we made in the previous step.
Next, you're going to form them into the gnocchis and cook them uncovered for 15 to 20 minutes.
And then we're going to make the cheese sauce by cooking 4 tablespoons of butter. 4.5 tablespoons of flour.
Cook that for 2 minutes.
Let everything melt and mix in really good.
But you don't want it to get too colorful.
Yep. After that, you're going to remove from the heat, mix in your milk, extra seasoning, and your Swiss cheese.
So 3 cups of boiling milk, some salt, pepper, and nutmeg. 3/4 cup of Swiss cheese.
Set it aside. We're going to organize your gnocchi in a baking dish and then just kind of layer it with lasagna. Like lasagna, layer it with sauce. And then at the very end, you're just going to top it off with more cheese and pea-sized little clumps of butter.
About a tablespoon's worth, not too much though.
Going to bake for about 10 minutes. And then it's ready to serve and munch.
Enjoy.
Let's get back to the show. All right, so The January Man, it was a 1989 movie. It has a few well-known names. I think the big one was Alan Rickman and Harvey Keitel.
Yeah.
Who were 2 pretty big roles, supporting roles on that. The main role went to Kevin Kline, I believe, as Nick Starkey. I guess he was a fireman and a detective because he got kicked out of the police department.
Yep, I was taking notes during the movie and I made a little tree pretty much. So
Just to keep track of everyone?
There's a cop and the cop's brother.
Yes.
Cop's brother is a fireman. The cop is trying to convince his fireman brother to come
Frank
to the
Starkey
force.
is trying to convince, not even convince, he kind of forces him to come back.
Yes.
Frank is Harvey Keitel's character.
And then come to find out the cop is married to the fireman brother's ex-wife.
Yeah. Harvey Keitel is married to Susan Sarandon in this movie, which I guess Susan Sarandon's character used to, I don't know if she was married, but they used to be with Kevin Kline's character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a little love triangle thing going on there.
A murder happened right away.
Yes.
Right in the opening. And the mayor's daughter is not a witness, but she's like one of the last people to have seen her friend alive.
Yeah. And then the mayor's daughter starts dating the fire.
I mean, not dating, more like,
well,
you know, because she wants to feel safe, so she starts cop.
/ firefighter. I guess that's how you do it, right?
I guess.
I don't know. I'll stick with the jiu-jitsu guys.
He makes thanks. He makes some pretty odd food. It looks like he's a very eccentric guy to start with, which makes for an eccentric cop.
Yeah.
But
well, and two, he's not like ecstatic about being forced to come back to the force, so he's not trying to hide those eccentricities.
Because like you find out later that like some shit went down, like there was, I guess, bribery involved, and he took the fall for his brother, who's now like the commissioner.
Yeah.
So like he was kicked out of the force, kind of in shitty terms. He brings fucking Professor Snape or Alan Rickman with him, and Alan Rickman is a painter.
Yep. He's like his little sidekick.
Amongst other things, yeah, he's a good sidekick. He's very eccentric. Every room needs to be right because of the lighting. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What else? They have a parrot or a macaw.
There is a macaw.
If you will. For a suspense movie or a crime, if you will. It takes itself pretty lightly. Yeah,
so there's like a murderer, and they're trying to find him, obviously.
He's a serial killer.
Thank you.
The January Man.
That's what I was going to get to. There's a serial killer. They're trying to figure it out. They're trying to like put all the pieces together and figure out, you know, what's the same about all these murders and stuff with prime numbers and January dates. And there's a lot of like smart things that go into it.
Yeah. Two eccentric autistic dudes solve a mystery is essentially this.
Yes. There's a chase scene where they...
Oh, yeah, dude. That was one of the funniest, like, foot chases that I've seen in a while.
Yes. Like, I remember there was a scene where the firefighter cop is, like, holding onto the pants, like, of this January Man.
Nick Starkey, yeah.
And they're, like, tumbling down the steps, and he is, like, looking up the steps. He's like, hey, guys, am I doing okay? And, like, the guys are looking down there like,
nah.
No, you're not.
Also, like, in that scene, and again, 1989, I get it. But I kind of started looking at the serial killer, and I was just like, dude, is he in blackface? And like, cause like they try to just kind of cover his identity, but like it wasn't really blackface as much as like, I guess they just try to make him like look really dirty, and it just kind of looked like blackface.
It definitely looked like blackface, but like you said, I think it was
definitely was. It looked like it was a poor choice, if you will. But
the soundtrack too was very like cheesy 80s music.
It was awesome.
Great.
It was awesome. Great. But no, with all that in mind, let's dig into these the gnocchi, which I think have deteriorated a little bit. They're not the traditional, like, I thought gnocchi was Italian.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I didn't think it was a French thing, but I guess French gnocchis are a little bit different than the Italian ones.
Just off first glance, they are like thicker.
I mean, we could have made them. We could have made them smaller.
I followed the recipe, but like,
I know.
See how big this bitch is?
Here, cheers, motherfucker.
Cheers.
What do we got? They're very not flaky, fluffy. It's not as dense as I would imagine like a pasta kind of item to be. Although Italian gnocchi is made with potatoes too.
Yeah, we followed the recipe, so I don't know if we did it wrong. I mean, don't get me wrong, it tastes delicious.
I mean, listen, if I'm being honest, and I'm gonna try to be, it's cheesy mashed potatoes.
That's what I was just about to say. Like, in my opinion, it's literally just like formed like chunky mashed potatoes.
Mashed potato balls in a really cheesy, pretty good sauce. Everything tastes good.
Delicious.
But it's there's an easier way to accomplish this, and it's not by forming everything. Just keep it as mashed potatoes, guys.
Right.
But if you want to be fancy and you want to have friends over, like Nick Klein did in the movie, and try to woo the ladies with your cooking, you could try this.
Try the recipe out, and y'all let us know if yours turns out like
let us know how it turns out.
Mashed potatoes.
Shit-shaped mashed potatoes. That's a good one. And cheese sauce.
Yes, with cheese sauce,
with
of course.
cheese sauce. Ratings, I guess. And we do need to come up with a rating system. So if you guys have any ideas on what we can rate, our rating system could be, just drop them in the comments. And we will pick the best one we can.
Yes.
What do you think of this date?
The whole date as a whole?
Well, dinner and a movie.
Okay.
And we'll go
date
from there.
As a whole, I'll give it a solid 9.
Yeah. I was
8.5.
underwhelmed. I was going 7 on this one, maybe 7.5. And I feel like the movie is doing a heavy lifting.
Yeah, the movie it's delicious though. That's not the problem. That's what makes it difficult because it's not that it's gross. It's good.
A 7.
It's good.
It's a 7 for me.
But
the dish. The dish itself, I think it's a 7. The movie was a 9.
Yeah.
I think surprised me. I had never seen it. I was 1 year old when that fucking movie came out.
I wasn't born when it came out.
Yeah. So I was pleasantly surprised. And like movies that old, you never really know what's gonna hold up and how well it holds up.
Oh yeah.
The older they get. But I would say it was very entertaining. I don't know if anyone had ever seen it before. That they were like, oh, I saw that in theaters, and I think it's a pile of shit now. But I certainly didn't. I think it was a 9. It was.
It was hilarious, especially for an old 80s movie. Because most of those, like you said, most of those movies.
Listen, some of those movies, there's an art to watching. Like, I can watch any Rambo movie ever. Make 17 more, Sly. I'll watch them. By the time Rambo Part 3 or like one of the last ones, John Rambo, came out, if you go into the movie theater or wherever you're viewing it thinking, hey, I'm gonna watch a serious action where you're gonna be seriously fucking butthurt. But if you go in and you're like, dude, bullets are going to do crazy fucking things. There's going to be some cheesy lines. I'm going to laugh my tits off and have a great time. You'll be more than pleasantly surprised with this one. The cheesy lines are there.
Yes.
The cheesy 80s music is there.
Excuse me.
Some of the fashion's kind of goofy to look at as well.
Yes, but also like...
you see plenty of tits.
You do. You see tits.
So
it's a good movie.
Surprisingly, listen, I will say, I think her name was Bernadette, the mayor's daughter.
Yes.
Initially, I was like, what's this flat bitch gonna do? Big clothing. Trick me. A big sweatshirt. I was like, where was she hiding those? Triple XL sweatshirt. I don't know. But she had some fucking large knockers, man. I remember that from the movie.
I'm sure you do.
So I'll give that a 9.
Yeah, for sure.
Like a 9D.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So stupid.
What are your ratings? What do you feel like the food?
We'll go with a solid 8 overall, because I agree with you. The movie was about a 9. The food about a 7. And like you said, for the effort...
It's not bad. It's just underwhelming.
For the effort out of there, just make some mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
And again, if we screwed it up, like, y'all try this and like let us know if yours came out better or if it was the same.
Clumpy lumps of mashed potatoes with cheese sauce.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Previous movies have not shown quite as many tits, though.
No, well, something about Mary. There were prosthetic, really old, tan, wrinkly tits.
Old lady tits.
Yeah.
I'm talking about good tits.
Fair. Yeah.
All right. If y'all have any suggestions or want to see us cook anything or watch any specific movies, let us know. In the meantime, enjoy your gnocchi. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.